Hello, and thank you so much for joining us. Today it's my pleasure to visit with Dr. Dominion V.Judah, President of World Subnationals and Nationals, or WSNN. Dr. Judah, it's a pleasure to have you join us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John. It's a pleasure to be here as well.
Dr. Judah, I know you're a globally minded economist, scientist, researcher, and innovator. Your work is centered on transforming economies and eradicating poverty. You've authored several influential books, including Subnational Prosperity and Ending Poverty, and you've developed models that scale economies while protecting local systems from global shocks. Earlier this month, your organization announced an Economic Growth Capital Resource, or EGCR, Phase 1. Can you help us understand what is the vision of the EGCR and how does it transform today's economic systems?
EGCR, like the name goes, is Economic Growth Capital Resource. These are resources that are developed for the purpose of the growth of economies, and we are focusing on subnationals and then the nationals. The vision and the idea of EGCR is to change the way economies are grown. Most of the times we do top-down approach, which oftentimes do not get to the grassroots as it ought to be. And that's one of the reasons why poverty has not been effectively eradicated in most part of the world. So EGCR comes with a focus on the subnational entities, focusing on the eradication of poverty from where the poverty is actually located. And then it moves up to the national levels, to the regional level, and then to the global level. So EGCR, the purpose of it is simply to grow the global economy beginning from the grassroots, and as well as to end the global poverty, which we have been talking about for years and years and years. Many organizations come up with different kind of visions for poverty eradication, but at the end of the day, nothing happens. Instead of being eradicated, it is elongated. This time around, we are not letting that happen. We have what we call the Vision 2030, and we want to meet that deadline, that timeline of eradicating global poverty. That's why we came up with the idea and the vision of AGCR.
Excellent, excellent. Certainly a noble objective. In practical terms, what would it mean for an individual or a small business? What would the EGCR mean for someone in terms of their day to day life, potentially?
Yeah, for individuals, example, we have a lot of features in the framework of AGCR that takes care of different aspects of individuals' life. For instance, the financial part of it. Most especially, we have the job board. The job board will help to make jobs available to people. We have the vision of creating 1 billion jobs over the next 5 years. So the job board is going to make jobs available to people globally and locally, as well as the feature of the UBI, the Universal Basic Income feature of the job board, which will help unemployed people to have a basic earning so that we make sure that no one lives below $20 per day, at least to afford the basic needs of life. And then other parts of it, that like the insurance system for the funds, in every financial system, there are always the bad guys who play the bad games. So we need to provide the insurance, the protection that is required to make sure that people don't lose their funds on the EGCR framework. So we have the fraud alert system that protects funds. We have other systems that has, for instance, we have the subnational wealth funds, helps to create wealth for states, and then will help to reduce the tax burdens on individuals. We also have the grant system that will help individuals to explore their ideas. We want to raise more entrepreneurs who will be able to do great things for themselves and create jobs. Anyone can start a business, and there's not going to be difficulty in doing that. We want to make the ease of doing business to be simple and easy for everyone. and available to everyone, no matter the country. Now, as we are speaking, many nations have a very strict way of starting business. It's very hard to start business in many nations, very difficult. So, and the irony of the matter is that most of these nations where it's highly difficult to start businesses are places where poverty are concentrated. So we are looking for ways to ease the way for businesses to start up and to help individuals or existing companies or businesses to grow and expand through grants, through security. We have the subnational capital systems that's going to help to expand businesses as well. So no matter the kind of business anybody is in, it's going to be easier to raise funds within the EGCR framework.
Excellent. Excellent. What about for non-governmental organizations, the NGOs or maybe local governments? Can they engage with the EGCR?
Absolutely. With the NGOs, we also have grants for NGOs. We have, because there are different categories of NGOs in different sectors operating in different fields. So we have different categories of grants for NGOs, different levels, whether you're operating at the state, local council level or the national level. There are different grants for NGOs to help them, and also tools, AI tools, and and what that reminds me as well. We need to talk about this. We have the AI policy. I don't know if you know about that. AI policy. Okay, our AI policy is it simply states that we will not allow AI take over from people. We will allow people to monitor and watch over AI, because by so doing, we're able to preserve jobs and to eradicate poverty. It's just like I was discussing with someone else. When you go to a construction site, you see an excavator working. An excavator is a tool. There is somebody operating the excavator, and there is also a spotter who is watching the excavator. So the excavator does not completely take over the job from the man. The man is working with the excavator to make the job easier. So we use AI as a tool to make things easier. So we have that on our platforms available for NGOs. Local governments can take advantage of grants as well. And also we have the subnational wealth funds and different other funds, sector development funds are available for them to take advantage of. Sector development funds are made for specific growth of different sectors. So we channel the funds specifically into sectors like probably infrastructure, health, agriculture, which is a very important sector, aviation. So we don't want these sectors to lack funding anymore. So we want to make these sectors grow. Anyone operating in these sectors should be able to raise funds to carry out their visions to advance each of these sectors, so that the people, the community can benefit from it. So anybody at the subnational level or anybody at the state, whether state subnational or local council subnational or national level, you can take advantage of any of these things to advance your nation and your community.
Excellent. I love the philosophy that AI should be a tool, not in control of people.
Yeah.
People must control the AI.
Yeah.
I think that's so important.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And
How about,
sorry for that.
Go ahead.
We also work with AI. Our platform is AI powered, but everything is being monitored by people. You see that? Yeah. So it's not as if we are not against AI. We use it, but it's monitored by people every step of the way.
Absolutely. Yeah. How about debt reorganization or debt forgiveness? What is your approach there?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because we have a big problem in the world today, which is the global debt. I know debt is good, but on the other hand, debt is also not good, because many nations are drowning under the weight of debts. If they are not able to service their debts, if they're not able to produce enough to take care of their nation, the weight of debt drowns the nation. So the debt resolution aspect of EGCR is to help nations and subnational entities, also organizations and individuals who have found themselves in a precarious situation where they are dealing or struggling with debt. we are stepping in to help release them from the bondage of death and give them a new life.
Excellent.
You may not know this, but there are people at certain parts of Africa where people die because they are owing, because they are in debt. They just commit suicide. A lot of these things happen.
Terrible.
So we need to step in to help rescue the economies of the nations and the economies of subnational entities and also individuals and the businesses. Many businesses are shutting down around the world because they cannot service their debts. It's not news. Everyone, the other day, in the news, I saw quite a number of businesses that are, bankruptcy and all of that. So we need to rescue. Each bankruptcy declared is simply a set of jobs lost, families left without income. Each time a business shuts down, families are left without income. People are left stranded. Jobs are lost. That's what it means to the economy. And poverty
There's a
is
real
created.
human impact to these
Yes.
things. It's
Yes.
not theoretical. It's a human impact, real life.
Yes.
Excellent. How about for wealth funds or sector development funds? Is there a role for them to help drive investment and innovation?
Yeah. The purpose of the wealth funds is to help nations and subnational entities to run like a business. We give the grants to start up the funds, and then you run it like your own business. You use it for investments in different sectors, in different industries, and then the money you make there, you use it to service the nation or the state where you are, and then reduce the dependency on taxation so that the taxations are not increased to the point that it chokes the people. Taxes, very important. A lot of people are dealing with the weight of taxes. So we need to help governments generate income that will help them to release a lot of the burdens of taxes that are on the people. Our vision is to gradually get to a point where government do not absolutely depend on taxation to run. But they're not going to lose funding. They're going to be having their funds through the subnational wealth funds and also through the sector development funds. That's the purpose of the EGCR.
Excellent. And who exactly would be eligible for grants? Is there a definition of an ideal recipient?
Grants are available for individuals, businesses, governments, NGOs. The category of users we have on the EGCR framework have access to different kinds of grants depending on the level they are operating at. The grants are available to everyone who has, for instance, the JMotivers platform helps people to start businesses. Every business that starts on that platform, whether it is from government, from individual, from an existing business, every business that starts on that platform that is going to bring employment to the people will qualify for grants.
Excellent. Talk about the Global Job Board. I know that's available to support employment. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, the Global Job Board is one of the major features of EGCR because it is one of the tools we want to use to eradicate global poverty. So the Global Job Board is like a link between employers of labor and their job seekers or unemployed people. So what the job board does is that anyone who registers on the job board will have access to jobs that are listed there, and because we monitor the things that are going on there. Anyone that is not employed will automatically be qualified for the UBI, except if the person is not in a below income earnings, is not earning less in a particular low income bracket. So if the person is at a point where he's not able to take care of their own affairs, pay the bills and do the basic things, they automatically get into the UB, Universal Basic Income, of the job board. So it is part of the drive and the vision and the features we have created to help eradicate global poverty. And it will be useful to everyone. It's open to everyone.
Excellent. Excellent. How does the EGCR ensure trust through deposit insurance and anti-fraud measures?
Yeah, EGCR has a deposit insurance that, initially we started with the $2 million worth of funds. In the United States, we have 250,000 deposit insurance for each account, for each account holder in any traditional bank. So the reason for that is because we are not going to, first of all, we're not going to allow the usual practices that leads to the shutting down of financial organizations in the traditional banking system. We're not going to allow that to occur in the EGCR framework. So we are going to ensure that any organization that will operate within the framework will operate in such a way that they're not going to be shutting down and taking people's money. So we have that baseline. The 2 million is for individuals, the 10 million is for businesses, and then we can actually do more than that, but that's just for a start. And then we assure that every fraud, we have the fraud alert system. Anybody can, report fraud. Once fraud is reported, there's an automatic, freezing of the account that is reported. The funds that is reported, wherever the fund goes, we monitor it and pull it back. We're not going to allow any fraudulent activity on our platform. So the people who do fraud will find it very hard, because there's a transparency that has to be kept up on the platform. It has to be transparent.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. And that sounds so very important when you're talking about millions of dollars like you are, to have that trust that everything is secure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. What about the Global Peace Agreement aimed at conflict resolution? How does that work?
Yeah. The Global Peace Agreement is a framework that we created in order to end existing wars and prevent future wars. The agreement helps every one of us around the world, every individual around the world, or organization or government, to come to the table and denounce the use of war in the issue of conflict resolution. Because no war leaves people the same. No war leaves people the same. There is no
It has
war.
an impact on people. Absolutely.
There is no war zone that has a good economy. The existing infrastructures will be destroyed. The human resources will be destroyed. Ecological resources will be destroyed, and many other things. And wars affect the global village, the whole world. Wherever there is a war somewhere, it affects different parts of the world. So we created that to help maintain a peaceful environment, a peaceful society for all of us. Everybody is going to enjoy where there is peace. The economy is going to grow where there is peace. So the Global Peace Agreement, we are seeking to have a 4 billion signature globally to make it a global law, that we don't want to use wars to settle differences. We don't want to kill ourselves while trying to say someone is right or someone is wrong. So after killing ourselves, and we now finally decide that someone is right, what about the people that have been killed? You see there?
Got it.
So we have alternative conflict resolution system, different ways of resolving conflicts, which we will want to make use of instead of going into wars. I have a little bit of that kind of bitter experience that I don't want anybody to experience that.
Absolutely. War is no good for anyone, any war. Peace is the way to go.
Even if you win, you still lose because people are lost in the process.
Even if you win, you lose. Exactly right. Exactly right. How does the EGCR make doing business easier for people around the world?
Yeah, excellent. EGCR is a platform that anyone can access throughout the world. Part of the things that are there that are on the platform is when we launch the business part of the EGCR, there's going to be a hub for international cooperation amongst businesses. So it's going to help people do businesses locally and internationally without too much of a hurdle. So you can do business from Texas to Cairo, or whatever business you're doing. As long as it's a legal business, you'll be able to carry it out without much of hurdles. And then on the platform, we have what we call the tax haven companies. These the tax haven companies are companies that are like a big, they have a franchise underneath them. But in this case, the franchises underneath them do not need to struggle about taxes. The main company pays the taxes. And that's exactly what we are going to do for many companies that come through us. We're going to cover, because we want them to reinvest their income back to the economy, create more jobs, make more products that will help reduce inflation and create value for the local currency, which is important part of our economy. We want the more activity we encourage people to engage in, the more economic activity we encourage people to engage in, the more the economy becomes vibrant and buoyant and growing and enjoyable for everyone.
So a win-win for all involved.
Yeah. It's an absolute win-win for
Excellent.
everyone. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, Doctor, as we visit here in June of 2025, I know phase one was just announced earlier this month.
Yeah.
What are the next steps for the EGCR?
Okay. We are working on bringing forth the second phase, which will include the products for the accounts for the businesses and individuals, and as well as the NGOs. So it will be the stage where everyone else will be able to come on board, be able to use the platform and begin to use it in real life to make differences in our economies and families and every aspect of our lives everywhere around the world. So our vision is to bring as much people as possible on the platform to help them receive the benefits of EGCR and then be a blessing to their local economies.
And for those watching today, Doctor, who want to become involved, they're saying, how can I play a part? What can they do to be a part of this initiative?
Yeah, a lot of people are asking the question actually. At the moment, we want to roll out the business aspect of it and the individual accounts and the NGOs. At that time, when we do that, I think it's going to be coming forth maximum in the next 4 weeks. We're going to be doing that, the part 2 of it. We're going to be launching that, the phase 2 of it. So at that time, everyone will be able to come on board, be able to register and use the platform. For now, some people have asked me if we are opening up channels for donations. We have not opened up such channels. We are doing things by ourselves at the moment. Yes, it is true that there are people who give, who donate, but they do that out of their own way. It's not that we have a channel where we say donate to us, help support. We are not doing that for now. But individuals on their own prerogative and out of their own way, they say, "Oh, I like what you're doing. How can I give you something towards that?" And then they do that. That's their own. We cannot reject that, But we did not. Someone has encouraged me many times to put on a donation button. I said, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing
Got
that.
it.
So anybody can be a part of it once we launch the platform fully for businesses, and which I'm very, very excited and looking forward to. Actually, I want us to launch that so that we can have a quick impact on the global economy. A quick impact. I had someone doing a street interview in Indonesia. Someone was asking people in Indonesia what they feel about this. They were so excited and they are waiting for it. Another guy in Poland did such things again also in Poland. And then people were excited and looking forward to it. So yeah, we know that people are waiting for it and we are working to make it happen. And it's going to be beneficial to everyone. Absolutely.
And truly a worldwide initiative.
Yeah. Yeah. We are covering 240 different countries and territories.
Wow, very
240
impressive.
Yeah.
Very impressive. Doctor, I know our time is running short today. Before we let you go, any other thoughts or that you'd like to share with the audience today about the initiative or any of your work?
Well, the EGCR has a vision for global economic growth and poverty eradication. My words or my encouragement to everyone is to join hands together to achieve this vision, because when the economy grows, everyone enjoys. When the economy dies, everyone suffers. Even if you are wealthy, you have $100 billion. If out of the $100 billion that you have, people are not able to afford your own products, you're going to be out of business, isn't it? So
Absolutely.
you need people to be able to afford what you are selling for you to continue being in business. Everybody has to support to make the thing work in different places, because it is people who can afford your product that can buy your product. People who cannot afford your product cannot buy your product. Then you go out of business. So I'm
Simple
encouraging
math.
I'm encouraging everyone to be a part of it. There are many things that we cannot, spend long time to be talking about. But when the thing is launched, when you go on the platform, you're going to see many things to take advantage of, whether you're an individual, whether you were running an existing business, or you've never run a business before, you want to start now. That's excellent. We're going to give all the support that is required. Whether you are a government, you're asking, how can I operate a subnational wealth fund? How can I create a subnational reserve system that will help, cushion the effect of economic inflation? We give all the support that you need in business, in economics, and in technology. We give all the support.
Excellent. Excellent. Inspiring work indeed. And I thank you so much for visiting with us today. It's been a pleasure visiting with you and learning more about your organization and about the EGCR. And we thank you so much.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine. Thank you, John. It's been a nice time with you.
Absolutely. We've been visiting with Dr. Dominion V. Judah, President of World Subnationals and Nations. Thank